Most producers think that in order to make beats like Frank Ocean, you're gonna have to be a musical genius or just use some type of secret technique or whatever, but that's far from the truth. What actually matters, and what I don't see anybody really talk about more than they really should be, is understanding Frank Ocean's tendencies so you can replicate it. How does he come up with his own unique ideas? If you just understand how he tends to make decisions, your beats will stop feeling like guesswork and they'll sound a lot more accurate. Think about attitudes, okay? Great players don't run the exact same play every single time, but if you really look closely, you know what they like to do, okay? Curry, Bron, Kobe, they could all score from anywhere on the court, 3 mid-range at the rim, and yet they all have different ways of actually scoring the ball. Artists are no different, and that's what we're going to be focusing on today. We are going to make a beat by following the same types of decisions that Frank usually makes. And by the way, if you actually have difficulty actually applying this, because I mean it is probably a new way of thinking, just book a free call below, I got you. But before we go any further, let me quickly explain the number system, okay? This is going to be the language that we're going to be speaking for the rest of this video. So any key, right, like a C major scale, every single note is going to have a number to it. So for example, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then back to the 1. And each number represents the root of whatever chord that you want to play. So if I build a chord from 1 and then go to the 4, it sounds like that, and then go to the 6, back to the 4, to the 3, to the 2. You get it. And that's basically it. That's what the number system is. And now that we got that out of the way, this part gets a lot easier. Remember, what matters is his tendencies. And they're not rules, okay? They're just habits that he falls back on. But when you strip everything down, there are really only 2 moments that matter, okay? And that's how he starts and how he ends. Everything in the middle is pretty flexible, if I'm being completely honest. So for example, our first tendency is how he starts. Usually he starts at the 1 like this. And yeah, that's not necessarily Frank Ocean specific. A lot of people start at the 1. However, one of the most common moves that he likes to use is going from the 1 and then to the 6. And what's really interesting about this move is that there's not much that actually moves. The 1 and the 6 share a lot of notes together. So really, if you're playing the chord with both of your hands, you're only moving your root. However, he just doesn't do this one way. Sometimes he likes to start from the 6 and then go to the 1. And that can work too. Like for example, Lost, right? Lost. You get the gist of it. Although you're going to be hearing similar movement, like for example, a 4 to a 2, because technically it's the exact same relationship 4 and the 2 have that the 1 and the 6 have. So the 4 to 2 sounds like this. Actually, Think About You starts with the 2 and the 4. So songs like Self-Control use this Siegfried, however you pronounce that name. I'm actually going to be trying to pronounce that name a lot this video. It shows up over and over and over. However, once the progression is actually starting to move, this is where Frank is flexible. Sometimes he'll loop back, sometimes he'll just repeat ideas, and sometimes he'll just not play anything in the middle at all. This is essentially just where your taste comes in, okay? Try to experiment, try to see, okay, what sounds good? And again, if you do need help applying this to your own beats, or you just need help in general when it comes to R&B production or theory or just anything in that nature, book a free call below. It just helps me understand where you guys are coming from so I can just make better content and more solutions to you guys' problems. But this third tendency, okay, this has to be the most important, and it's the most distinctive to Frank Ocean himself, especially if you do it right. Now, a lot of Frank's progressions don't really feel resolved at the end, and that's not accidental. That's pretty intentional. So instead of resolving right back to like, let's say like a 1, for example, he often ends his progressions with some sort of tension or something that's out of key. So for example, like a diminished chord like Pink Matter. Bro, I should be Frank Ocean for real, bro. Or more often than not, just a borrowed chord. Most popular example of this, Pink and White. Listen. See that chord right there? It's a borrowed chord. See these two keys is out of key, so it's a major second. Now, if you do want to know more about borrowed chords to the point where it's painfully easy to understand, I do go deeper in this video right here, so go ahead and check it out if you like to. But again, one of the keys that he uses a lot is the major second, especially if the chord that you're playing right before is either a 1 or a 3. This will literally slide right in pretty easily. Siegfried or SF again. 1, 6, 3, right? Boom, bada bing, bada bam, bada bing, bada boom. But this chord isn't necessarily just a magic chord. It's just one of those chords that you don't necessarily hear outside of Frank's music. So that's why it's so much easier to identify that particular emotion that comes with a chord with Frank's sound. So really, once you zoom out, these tendencies aren't random. It's just something that he does a lot. But Nate, who are you to be teaching us this without actually applying this to your own type of chord progression? And that's a really good question. So using these two ideas, this is what I've came up with. Okay, so I need to stop. 6, 1, major second. There's no reason to overcomplicate it. It's that simple. I've done how it usually starts with the 6 to the 1, ended it with a major second chord, a borrowed chord, just something that's just out of key. And now from here, everything else is really, really easy. You see, Frank Ocean is one of those artists where the sound selections doesn't have to be something crazy or hard. I mean, you can do something complicated like a delay distortion or some bullshit like that, but that's just totally unnecessary. So let me just quickly show you how to make a really good beat with just 5 instruments and with no crazy effects added on there. Maybe just like an EQ, probably, maybe somewhere. So first up, just a set of keys, right? Then we're just gonna add some Wurlitzer. Boom, bada bing, bada boom. We already got a good foundation, a good base. That's how big of an impact a really good idea is. You don't really need to do all this bullshit to wrap shit in gold. Just make gold and then you don't have to wrap shit in it. You know what I'm saying? And then lead. Like, come on, dude. It already sounds like Frank. And then the bass and drums. And it's that simple. No effects. I mean, a really good bass line, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I really killed the bass line for real. But drums, amazingly simple. Lead, amazingly simple. It's just the idea was really, really good. And the borrowed chord at the end is really the cherry on top. And so if you do just want to have a better understanding of borrowed chords to the point where it's just, you just want to know it like the back of your hand, I really do recommend watch this video next.